Hey everyone, Misanthropy here from spellsofmagic.com. Today on Misanthropy's Magic Corner, we're going to be going over herbs and herb magic. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer here. If you've never worked with an herb before and you're unsure of any interactions it could have with your medication, or if you're unsure of if you might be allergic to the herb, just please do your research. Don't ever work with or ingest anything that you're unfamiliar with. You want to keep yourself safe and your loved ones safe, so just be mindful of that. You don't want to have any, allergic reactions or any interactions with medication that could cause you to end up going to the hospital. So please just be safe when you're working with herbs. So with that in mind, get your cauldron and spellbooks ready, and let's get to it. Now, I actually have made myself a little checklist today for this video, just because there's so much that I want to cover and go over with you, and I just want to make sure that I stay on track. The first thing we're going to be going over today is what exactly an herb is. Now, generally speaking, an herb is any plant with flowers, seeds, or leaves that can be used for cooking, flavoring, medicine, or perfumes. Some of the more commonly used herbs are lavender, basil, sage, mint, things like that. They're more readily available, especially here in the US. We use them a lot in cooking or for perfumes, specifically lavender. You find a lot in perfumes and bubble baths just because it's really nice for relaxation. The next point we will be covering in this video today is understanding herbs. Now, herbs are living things. They have energy running through them. And this energy is what we tap into when we're working with herbs and herb magic. We tap into that energy and we use it to help amplify our spells and ritual workings. And a lot of herbs already have, magical associations. And we're just really playing off of that energy when we use them in spells and ritual work. Now, for example, basil, which is one that I always suggest using for our new practitioners, just because it's easy to grow, it's easy to find, and it offers a lot of beneficial things that people ask for on the site. And basil is used for prosperity, protection, healing, good fortune, and luck. It can be burned. The dried leaves can be burned or tossed into ritual fires, or it can be added into charm sackets. And it's also, like I said, one of the beginner-friendly herbs that I suggest, along with mint, catnip, and sage. Catnip is good for love and friendship. Mint is good for prosperity, good luck, stress relief, and relaxation. And sage, of course, it's one of the ones we commonly see for purification and protection. It's also good for healing and well-being. These herbs are easy to grow, they're easy to work with. As long as you meet the proper soil requirements and they have adequate sun and water, they do very well. They're very low maintenance. However, catnip and mint are very aggressive. So if you are working with either of these, or if you plan on growing them, make sure that they are in their own container so that they can't spread and choke out the rest of your plants or herbs. Now, with that said, the next topic we will be going over are our tools for the beginner herbalist. Garden shears. These are used to trim back and cut off sprigs of your herbs for drying or for use in potions or other culinary purposes. Your twine or garden thread, which is used to tie your herbs together to hang them up for drying. Jars to store your herbs in. Your mortar and pestle, which is used to crush your dried herbs. Tea balls. Now, this is a smaller one, but you can actually find larger ones. The smaller ones work great for teapots and teacups. The larger ones I've actually seen used for ritual bathing, and what you'll do is you'll add your herbs into that and let it soak in your bathtub, and it'll release that essence and energy of the herbs into the water. And then, of course, your sackets. Now, I love sackets just because you can use them for, potpourri if you plan on using them for aromatherapy purposes. You can also use them for little charm sackets, which is something we'll cover in our next part for easy herbal spells. So let's say we're doing something for love or friendship. We would take a pink sacket. Now, if you can't find pink, white is an all-purpose color that you can use. And you would take your herbs and you would add them into your sacket. But before you do that, I always suggest cleansing your sacket first, just because you don't know what energy it has on it from the store. Take your herbs, hold them in your hand, and gently rub them between your palms. Now you can say a chant associated with your intent or a small prayer, and just visualize these herbs being filled with that energy and drawing it into your life. When that's done, you add it into your charm sacket. You can also put in a quartz crystal to help amplify that energy. Then you would tie it shut and carry it with you. Now, if you wanted to add a little extra oomph to your charm sacket, you could even draw a symbol associated with your intent on the outside of it, just to further solidify that intent that you're trying to draw into your life. And then, like I said, you can take the dried herbs and actually just burn these. So if you're doing a ritual for, friendship or love or luck or whatever it is that you need at the time, you could charge the dried herbs and then just toss them into the ritual fire to release that smoke. You could also make magical incense. So what you would do with that is you would take your dried herbs and you would put them on a charcoal disc or briquette. The site shop has the charcoal discs. You can also find them on Amazon. If you have trouble getting them, you can actually get the briquettes, which are used for barbecues and things like that, and you can light them and put your dried herbs on that to let them smolder and release that smoke for ritual purposes. The only thing is that those get very, very hot, both the discs and the briquettes. So make sure you're wearing heat-proof gloves and using tongs, and just make sure you have something that you can put them in that's heat resistant so it doesn't burn you or whatever the surface is that you have it sitting on. Herbal baths are another thing. You can take sackets. This is a sacket of lavender. Say if you're doing a ritual for relaxation and stress relief, you could actually throw this into your bathtub and let it soak. As the herbs release their energy into the water, you can visualize that really helping, remove the stress from your life, or feel them helping that stress just, trickle away. You can do the same thing if you're doing something for love or prosperity. Just put them in your tea ball or your sacket, put it in the bathtub with you, and visualize those herbs either, bringing that energy to you or taking it away from you, depending on what you're doing. I think this is where we will end this video for today. I will add links in the description below to go further in depth on this topic if you have any questions that weren't answered here. And as always, stay magical.